NBA for Friday. We're going to take a look here at the New York Knicks and the Chicago Bulls in our sides play. We also have our segment on totals that you might want to check out. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at this one here. I'm going to back the Knicks getting the 6.5. Although statistically, when you break these two down so far in this early season, they've only played a few games. It looks like Chicago should roll them. But when you start to look a little bit closer, especially at the matchups, I like New York to go ahead and stay within the 6.5 and hang with Chicago tonight. Let's go ahead. Let's start talking about the Knicks first. And man, they've really struggled out of the gate so far this season. They are 1-3. They're averaging just under 97 points per game. That ranks them 27th in the NBA. Their tempo's not great. They're shooting just around 43% from the field. Defensively, they've been terrible, allowing over 100 points, in all of their games. However, all that said, I kind of like the way they match up with Chicago. I think they have some, some good matchups, and it just the number also seems a little bit off. Chicago seems like statistically they should be favored by 8 or more, but odds makers aren't going to give anything away for free. And the way New York has played Chicago in the past is a good indicator of that. Last year, they were like a 9-point underdog at Chicago, and they won straight up, as well as beating Chicago the last time they faced them. So they've beaten Chicago the last couple times, and I just like the way overall how they match up. I think Rose is going to come in really excited, have a good game. I think Noah's going to be fired up, and this should be a really, really tight game. I think it's going to go down the wire, where I think the points are going to be, very valuable. We look at the rebounding disparity. I mean, Chicago's been one of the better rebounding teams in the league. New York's been terrible. So, I mean, when you start to just dig at the statistics, Chicago should blow them out, but odds makers have it at 6.5, and I think they're right according to at least what I see as far as how they're going to match up tonight. Chicago on the year, they've looked pretty good. Tough loss against Boston. They're 3-1 on the season, but they've been scoring 110 points per game. That ranks them 4th in the NBA. They've also been great. They rank 1st or 2nd in opponent rebounds per game, which has been really good. They're boarding the ball well. Good tempo. We're going to get that out of Hoiberg. But defensively, they're still middle tiered right now. They're just not a very good defensive team, and they're not going to be if they keep going at this sort of pace that he wants to run. And that's okay. You can get away with that, but you got to keep statistically the other team down in the percentages, and Chicago has neglected to do that. And once they're able to do that, I think once they, fit a good defensive scheme into their system, that's a talented team that could make a run at the Eastern Conference, at least make some noise. Ultimately, it's Cleveland's to lose, but I did like how Boston played really tough off a back-to-back against them last night. So it's going to be interesting. Sorry, I digress. Chicago, good team, good talent, but I just like the way New York matches up with them. Don't be surprised if New York pulls off the upset. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the Knicks here plus the 6.5. That's my NBA sides pick, and I wish you luck on your picks today.